So I am on my so I am on my second. And it appears whoever who has set this up has written a letter about this produce stand. So during my sexy walk, I went past here, I think a couple days ago, and they have a box of grapes, some nectarines. One nectarine is left, a few plums. So the first were flame seedless grapes, then double delight nectarines, and flavor grenade plutot. And it's just here for you to take. And also on this little stand, it says, because I'm a forager, as you see, I walked past a lavender plant and you got to pick it up. So on the board on this stand during my sexy walk, it says, take what you can use, leave your extras if you wish, contributions are appreciated but not necessary, help reduce waste and increase the health of our neighborhood. And now comes the letter to all. So why Hellcorner? Because this is called Hellcorner. What's up, what's up, what's up? So here's what it says. When we bought this property nearly 40 years ago, it was almost all dead vegetarian, weeds and brambles. What were we thinking? What were we thinking? Even though we were young and dumb, that doesn't mean anything. You're not young and dumb. You're just experiencing life. So it's not that you're dumb. You're just learning the lessons. So even though we were young and dumb, we began to affectionately refer to the place as Hellcorner. Hellcorner, thus the sign. So when I turn it over, it's almost done. Made almost everything entirely from recycled, reused, and upcycled materials. A few more additions should be final by the weekend. Isn't that fantastic? So during my walk, it's just in front of the house, and they have produce that you can just take. So there's some delicious grapes, some delicious nectarines, and some plutots. And you can leave something if you would like. If you don't, that is okay. And so for the person on my last live who asked, why am I carrying those grapes? Why did they give out the grapes? This is why. Now, let me add to this. This same place also has a take a book, leave a book, which I absolutely love. I love the take a book, leave a books. However, if I don't see anything that just jumps out to me, thank you for liking the live, I won't always sort through. Oh, and she has pomegranates. I love seeing the different fruit that are blooming because I will see that as a sign of abundance. California. Pomegranates are a sign of fertility through several cultures, and just seeing that fruit reminds me that fertility isn't just reference to as in childbirth. Fertility could be a mind that's ripe for learning. Fertility could be stability ready to launch. Fertility can be something more than the thought of a woman carrying a child. No, it's California. And when I see the pomegranates, that's what I think of, because on certain tarot cards, pomegranates represent fertility or rebirth, and throughout cultures they hold this. And I was speaking to my niece, and it's the summertime, which often means you're moving. And what that feels like. Now, as an adult, I've moved several times. Little background, I was a flight attendant for 15 years, and through those 15 years, I've lived in several places, several cities, London, Paris, New York, DC, Jersey, Maui. However, all my moves have been spectacular. They've been because of my choice. And often I like to ask people, is this of your choice? Because some people will say, oh, I don't like moving. Well, if you've never moved by choice, that's probably why you don't like to move. And you can figure that out. If you've always been kicked out, ran out, evicted, that's different from saying, you know what, in 6 months or in a year or in a month, I'm going to move. It makes all the difference. So keep in mind, someone's story may not have the same outcome. However, with my niece, who's quite young, 23, was speaking about moving, and I said, listen, I've done it several times. I would like to offer you this. Get what you want. Don't settle. Especially in a place that you're going to live. It's your sanctuary. It's your safe space. The moment that you allow yourself to say, I'll accept this to where you live, it will inherently flow into anywhere else in your life. Because really, where you live means that much. That if you say, you know what, I'd rather have a studio because that may be easier compared to a 1-bedroom and a 1-bathroom. If you want it, just say what you want and allow it to come, or search for it. Don't automatically tell yourself no. And furthermore, don't settle. Especially this young as far as living somewhere, because it makes all the difference. And I shared with her my experience when I moved to Hawaii. So when I moved to Hawaii, I had said I had already wanted to leave living in a city. I had lived in cities for several years and really traveled, and most of my life traveled several times a week. So I wanted to have quiet. If you live in New York, it's not always quiet. If you live in London, it's not always quiet. I wanted quiet. And I was specific about where I was going to live. Do I want to live on an island? Do I want to live on a cold island? Do I want a beach? Do I want a hot beach? How specific can you make it? Because for me, I would visualize how I would feel doing my walks like this in Maui, and how the sun would feel on my skin, and just inhaling the air. I felt it. However, I knew what it was I wanted. It wasn't about go back to just settling for any space to live. However, that just flows into every area of life, or maybe it doesn't. There is a saying that says, how you do one thing is how you do all. So if you're chronically late, you would be chronically late in every area, not just chronically late to uh, a meeting or time with people, but maybe late to make a payment on something. Good night. And just the belief of it's here, especially where you live, because think about it, where you live is where you stay every. That perspective isn't even shared by the additional person. So offering it, I don't know if it's beneficial. However, the allowing of myself to share that word, because to say I will only take this means that you have to trust. And I believe it always comes back to us. If we don't trust in ourselves, if we don't believe in ourselves, if we don't believe we can even hold ourselves accountable, we will often not have that trust to say, I will only take this and nothing else. Because that means you have to set a standard. And oftentimes it can be believed that that standard will not come. And from my perspective only, I shared with her that's where that belief of faith comes in. Like, this is what I'm having, and that's it. That's it. And she got it. She was like, yeah, okay, yeah. Especially just knowing and not saying I'll take less. I will only take what I take or more. But knowing and staying firm in what's for you. In what's for you. It doesn't matter if it makes someone uncomfortable because you ask for more than what they would ask for. So what? This is what you want. And to have faith and believe in yourself to say that may be an act of courage. Maybe. And that beauty of not really knowing, like you could say, I want a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, and this is back to the moving bit. However, within time, you know what? I really like hardwood compared to carpet. I really appreciate having a sleeper sofa compared to an air mattress. I really appreciate having a dishwasher. That's a whole nother level. Hi, Mag. But just getting to that level means that you have to get out and experience and live in different places to know what you do want and what you don't want. However, to know this is my standard and sticking by it is a real act of courage. And I believe it's a beautiful act of standing up for yourself. And that she appreciated it as well. And, whenever I walk by a plant, I pick it up. So I had to pick up this lavender, which smells lovely. And every time I take a walk, I usually grab more lavender. Because why not? Why not? It was too big to stick by my ear. However, I really like my lavender. So, my walk yesterday. Oh, these trees, they produce these little cherry plums that stain the sidewalk. And I used to eat them so much in the summer. So much. They're delicious. So, as I was walking, I saw this beautiful woman sitting outside watching the sunset. And she was in this beautiful muumuu, this bright red muumuu. And I was drawn to her because Hawaiians love their muumuus, and I acquired a deep love for muumuus from being in Hawaii. So I smiled at her and said, "Hey, I love your muumuu." And she was sitting on a walker in her driveway. And as I approached her, she got up and she smiled, and she's about 85 years old. Okay? We're going to name her Krista. Krista. So Krista is an 85-year-old German woman. However, she's lived in the U.S. since 1961. She told me her whole story. Beautiful story. And as we were speaking, she shared about the differences. We talked about bread because I believe Germans and Dutch do the best bread in the world. They really understand the craftsmanship with bread and seeded breads. Like Americans don't do bread well. It's like not good. And this woman was speaking about how she grew up after World War II. And she had mentioned she's been here since 1961 and lived at her current home since 1995, and how much it has changed. And as I've traveled, I've heard that specific statement several times. Oh, things have really changed. Things have changed. Thank you, Alwork. It's not like it used to be. And I understand that. And I understand that because the belief is that things change, but I don't think individuals understand that things do change. And I was sharing with her. Thank you, Mag. I tried to select the best lighting outside. Thank you. And so as we were exchanging words, and we probably talked, I don't know, maybe it was closer to an hour, because I talk and she talks. We both talk a lot. And she was saying once World War II had ended, most of that area of Germany, which was Hamburg, was totally destroyed. So it was called upon Italians to come to help to rebuild the country after World War II, and to rebuild, but not to settle, which I didn't understand, because as she was explaining, she said, "Thank you, Blessed Tone." She said, they came and they did help, but then they never went back. And I thought, well, it would be, for me, assumed that a family, if they're coming to work, like most people come to work, they come to work, they usually establish a stable point, maybe buy a home, start a family. You often aren't going to go back anywhere. Once you start a family, you often stay in that same position. So the openness to understand that point as well. And as we were speaking, because I lived in London for several years and I would hear this conversation, I often see this same conversation all over the world with just different words, just different people. It is the assumed same fear or complaint, just interchanged with the, oh, geez, let me walk. I guess that's confirmation. I was right. Because I can't be standing on the railroad tracks. All right now, I'll pick it up. Gotta pick it up. As Krista continued to speak, she shared about how at 2 and 3 in the morning, people are still driving past. And I said, Krista, you're 85. What are you doing up at 2, 3 in the morning in the first place? Why are you up? You should be asleep, number one. Number two, so what? So what? People can drive at any time of the night. People can really drive at any time at the night. And you should be asleep anyway. What are you doing up? And she had said, yeah, but 2, 3, 4 in the morning? Where are they going? I said, it doesn't matter where they're going. Just go back to sleep. That's all that takes. The focus on why the people are driving, I don't know. Just go back to sleep. I said as a flight attendant, oftentimes if I was coming home from an all-nighter or there was irregularities at the airport, you may have to be on the road at that time. However, you're 85, go to sleep. And she laughed. And the beauty of that, because it wasn't said in a tone of disrespect, it was really, you're up with them too. And as we talked about the bread and how Americans don't make good bread, because she's originally born and raised in Hamburg, Germany. And I said, I would love to make you bread. I walk past here at least once a week. I can bring you some bread. And she smiled. She said, if you want to. And she went on to tell me she really lives a solitary life. Okay, what's up, NJ? I lived in Jersey. I'll pull up one of my Jersey stories, because Jersey is Jersey. So all that to say, I have a new friend. She's 85. Her name is Krista. And she was open enough to listen, even though she is disturbed by people driving past the house at late at night or early in the morning. As I told her, what are you doing up? You should be asleep. If they're waking you up, that means you're already up with them. So I did not see her in her moo-moo today. However, I'm looking forward to seeing her and us talking about how different we are, I guess. Anyone who was in my live yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? My focaccia bread that I made was, what's up, Silos Focus? What's up? The focaccia bread I made is like gone. There's one piece left. It's been a hit. Everyone's loved it. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm so happy about my bread and my thrice baked, thrice cooked French fries that I made yesterday. I'm making all this food for my parents. And now my dad loves that I make bread. He even asked my mom, did Hope make bread? Like, okay, Dad, I'll make you a different bread. So I'm enjoying this. It's an enlightening moment. It's like when they used to make me toast, and now I'm actually making bread for the parents. And my mom has given me a list. I'm not a handy person. I've spoken about this. I'd rather hire someone to do it. I can do it. I'm open to doing it. However, I'm open to someone else doing it and me just paying. I'm open to that. But I have successfully changed some light bulbs, and even went and looked at the serial number and got the right light bulb. That is a win. And I love that success, that I could say I've successfully changed several of the light bulbs. And there's another thing on my list. Does anyone's parents give them lists of stuff to do when they go to visit them, because now that's what has happened. I receive a list and I must check off one thing a day. What else is on your list, Fro Globe? Because it's not that I'm unhandy. I can do anything. I believe that. I can do anything. I choose for someone else to do it. I'm happy to learn. And now that I've made them dinner a few days in a row, now every afternoon my mom is saying, so what are we eating for dinner? I guess I'm now the chef while I'm here. Okay, well that's nice. Walking the dog is nice. That's some outdoor activity. I appreciate that. There's no dog to walk. However, I would do that with a smile. Yeah, it's golden hour. I also was thinking on making another bread because I've made focaccia bread. I make just a regular loaf, and I want to make a different loaf for my dad. So if anyone has any suggestions on a bread to make. I can make some nice bagels. Yeah, I'll make bagels because bagels are easy to make and we have everything. Bagels are so easy to make. Once you see how easy bagels are to make, you probably would still buy them, but you wouldn't be intimidated to make them. Sourdough, yeah, I need that starter thing, like a sourdough starter, something like that. I will do that because we used to go to Cannery Row in Monterey and get the clam chowder in the bread bowl, which is fantastic. And I would never finish it. I don't finish my food purposely now, as my parents would always say, finish your food, finish your food. No, I don't want to. I know how much I need. That's how kids start doubting themselves, because they know when they're full, but the parent just says, no, finish. I will not do that. Yes, I would never finish my bread bowl because those bread bowl chowders are huge. I don't know how anyone finishes that. I can hardly finish, well, anyway. So because I wouldn't finish it, I would always pass it to my dad, and he would finish everyone's food. He was like the human, not the human disposal, but we all picked at our food. So he would just finish everyone's food. Like, Hope, pass it. Faith, you finish? Give it to me. Patricia, are you finished? Pass it here. So sometimes he wouldn't even order anything to eat because he knew once we were finished, he would have to finish all of our food. So what if sourdough. I think I'll do a sourdough. And I made a compound butter, which I love. I love compound butters. I made a compound butter with garlic confit, and I think it was just, and fresh rosemary. So I made a butter and mashed in garlic confit and fresh rosemary for my first loaf of bread. And I love making butters like that because they're so easy to make. However, it just brings so much flavor when you have a nice, savory, herby butter. It's one of life's joys. Like, how can you not? Why would you choose a regular butter over like a delicious garlic butter with fresh herbs? It makes, of course you're going to choose the garlic butter. Of course. You see how happy this makes me? So maybe a lavender butter. No, that probably won't taste so good. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I am going to finish my walk, jam into my music, and I end all of my lives with be the reflection of love because we all come from infinite sources of love. Show up like I'm doing my sundown sexy walk. Show up. All you gotta do is show up. Once you show up, everything else is done. But you just gotta show up. Okay? Just show up. That's it. All you gotta do is just show up. When you show up, make it look good. You see how I picked this fresh sprig of lavender? You just got to add your own little sauce to it. You got to add your own little zhuzh, your thing, your accoutrement. Show up and make it look good. And really believe. Faith is believing that it's already done, so you just operate like it's there. Not hoping. My name is Hope. I hope to get there. No. Believing, having that full faith where it's already done, so I don't need to think about it. It's done. I will operate as I would because I know it is done. Have that type of faith with everything. And think well of yourself. That's all. Go outside, get some sun glow. I will see ya when I see ya. Bye.